Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're a new subscriber, welcome, and for my returning subscribers, hello. Today I thought I would come on because I do want to get a video out for the end of this week, and it's just not what I had originally planned because for those of you that follow me, you know I was kind of off track from last week. You know, have you ever had one of those like days or weeks where you just feel like everything is just like chopped in segments? And I'm really good about writing down my day or a list of what I want to try to accomplish, and I just am playing catch up, and it's just one of those times where I feel like I'm still a step behind. So today is a day of no errands, just staying in and just trying to get what I need to get done. But I did want to share with you a couple of things that I had talked about, and I did go and have my brows redone or refilled. It had been exactly 2 years, and pretty much I guess it just depends on where you go or what instructions are. After your very first application, you go back, I think it was 2 weeks, and then they refill again, and then after that they basically just say it's about once a year. Well, for me it was it's been 2 years, and the reason was because I was in the process of growing my hair out to its natural hair color. So I basically just kind of, as my brows started to fade, I just started to pencil in, and I was experimenting with a couple of different pencils and their color, and I pretty much found that the granite, the Anastasia Beverly Hills granite color was really good for a match with my hair. Now, of course, with my hair being salt and pepper, it will, eventually lose the darkness to it and fill in more with the grays or whites. But of course, I would never match those grays or whites up with my eyebrows. I would always keep them, with the color on them. So I was really happy. I'm really happy with it. This is just day 2. Now, for this process, I will get back with her in 8 weeks. I'll go in, she'll just do a quick check. She'll make sure that everything on my eyebrows is good. She might, she said if we want to go a little bit darker we can, and so she might do just a little patch in there. But every day that it heals, it gets a little bit darker. And so the color that I had before was more on the brownish warm tone, because that's kind of the hair coloring that was matching up. And I literally, for those of you who are new or haven't seen any of my past videos that I've done on this, I literally had no eyebrows, none. And the process for me to fill in my own eyebrows every day was 30 to 40 minutes. It was a hassle. And getting caught out in the rain or humidity, I'd always be out and about somewhere and then happen to look in the mirror and I see, okay, that eyebrow wiped off, or go to the hairdresser and they're doing your hair and washing it, and then all of a sudden you look in the mirror and you got one eyebrow on, one eyebrow off. This was something that I really talked about wanting to have done. I really looked into it, read a lot of reviews, and then I found somebody that I felt I liked her work. I liked what I saw. I was very nervous about it, and when I first went and had the first application done, my daughter-in-law was with me, and just for that moral support. So this time it was like a snap. It was super, and I was a little bit nervous and concerned because I know that the pigmentation was going to be different now that this is my hair color. And I brought in the pencil that I used just to outline and showed her, and she had a really beautiful gray color, and I showed her a couple of pictures of what I did not want, and I just found those pictures and just said, no, these are not this is not the kind of brow I want, this is not the color I want. And so I trusted her because she did such a great job the first time. And when you literally go in with 0 brows, I mean, I just had a few little sprigs here, and believe it or not, just to give you a little history, I always had a unibrow growing up, one big brow, lots of brows, and dark. But as I aged and hormones and all that kind of stuff, and over plucking and not plucking properly, because back in my day it was thin was in, and you know, we used to just pluck the heck out of our hairs. Instead of just plucking hair, we pluck everywhere, and that wasn't good. So anyway, I ended up with, you know, no brows. It was just amazing to me, like the next day getting out of the shower and looking in the mirror and going, oh, I have eyebrows. Or getting up in the morning and looking and going, oh, I have eyebrows. It just makes a big difference. So this is day 2, and I do have Aquaphor on my brows just to help with a little bit of the healing. But what was different this time about the process is I got there, I talked to her real quick, and I told her what, you know, I was looking for, a darker pigmentation matching my hair, and I wanted the tips extended a little bit more. I have kind of like a little under surface scar on this side, and so it's hard to get pigmentation into that area. So that is a small little area that I just fill in with the brow, but I wanted them extended and out this way. And so I think she did a great job. I think they look great. The process is a little different, and the healing is very different because this was a fill-in. So it wasn't like I was going and having the whole thing done. Now, this time, what was different is, you know, I get there, I lay down on the chair bedding, and you know, look in the mirror, and she does her little thing and everything, and she goes, okay, we're gonna start. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, wait a minute, because I just thought she wanted to draw them in like she did the first time. She drew them in, I looked at them, thought, yes, this is great. And then, you know, I was thinking, okay, where's the numbing? Because they put numbing on your eyebrows, and then you sit for a while that area gets numb. And she said to me, I don't numb anymore. And I was like, what? Oh, okay, let me think about this for a minute. And she goes, well, I find that with lidocaine, yes, the lidocaine works, but it also, I can't get as good of an application. There's a lot of bleeding when you're using lidocaine, and I did bleed quite a bit the first time. I mean, not like, you know, okay, blood's dripping into my eyes and down my face, but there was just a lot of bleeding. And plus the lidocaine does change the composition of your skin, because I mean, if you've ever had a stitch anywhere on your body and they shoot it with lidocaine, you know, instantly it swells up and gets numb in there. But it is changing, you know, the skin. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm pretty tough cookie, you know, a pretty high tolerance. But it was more of the sound, like being at the dentist. You know how some people just can't stand the sound of the drill or and it's more of the etching sound that it makes when she's depositing the pigment into your skin. Like, it just sort of sounds like these little scratches. It's the best way I can describe it. And I just said, well, we'll try this. But if I can't take it, you know, no. And it was nothing. I did not flinch. I did not move or jerk, or it was nothing. I mean, it was the sound that bugged me more than anything. And now, had this had been my first application, you know, I'm not sure I could have stood the whole process without numbing. But maybe there's just, but this is a fill-in. So for me, it was It was great. So the process wasn't very long. She had me look. She had me just kind of, is there any other area? We went over a couple of little places that I thought I wanted it a little more, but I wanted to stay on the lighter side because after they heal, I can go back, and if I want a darker pigmentation or a little more filled in, she will do that at my 8-week check. But I'm pretty happy with them today, and they're still like in the healing, but they just feel so much better. I didn't have that. I mean, last time when I went, yes, it was because it was my first time, but my eyebrows were swollen. They were just so sensitive to touch, and nothing, absolutely nothing. It was great. And I didn't have any. I had a little bit of redness, but not much at all. And within a couple of hours, it was gone. So loving these. And the price point, it's different everywhere you go. The very first time, it's a little costly. The fill-ins, I didn't think it was unreasonable, especially for something that, if my first one lasted me 2 years, these I'm sure will. But I'd like to just keep it updated as much as I can. So I did pay $150 for the fill-in. But you get what you pay for. And I knew I was going to do this year. And as a Christmas gift, my husband said, here's the money for you to do your brows again, because I know you want to get them done. So I waited all this time because I just wanted to make sure, okay, my hair is completely done growing out, and I really have to concentrate on, doing a little investigation on coloring and what I want. And then I saw some real spooky pictures on, I think it was Facebook. It was on some social media thing, and I was just like, I mean, the lady with 4 brows or something, that somebody did her microblading, and then these brows ended up here, and you could still see her other brows, and it was just like, I don't know how it happens, except, yes, you're going to somebody who is not certified, and I go to someone who is strictly just does the eyebrowing, and I think she does the tattooing for liner on your eyes, and that's it. She doesn't do anything else. This is her specialty. She's certified, and I looked at a lot of her work. So, but when you see something like that, and you think, how does that happen? Well, you get what you pay for. If you're trying to cut the cost and go, well, I found somebody who will do this for $50, big red flag, because it's when you look and investigate and find out what someone else is charging, and you get a ballpark figure of that charge, and everybody seems to be within the same range, then you look further and you ask to see their work and look at pictures and stuff like that. But you still have to be very careful. And even though mine was a fill-in, I had to make sure that the fill-in was going to be proper, because I didn't want, I wasn't wanting to go for, dual shades in my eyebrows either. And I know that this gal I go to, she does a lot. Sorry, had a little interruption. But anyway, so interruption, and now I don't remember what I left off at. But so yes, had them done, loved them. And I know what I was saying is, the girl I go to, she does a lot of repair work. People do have to come in for repair, and it's basically because sometimes people don't check out where they're going, or they think, I'm going to get this done and it's cheaper. But if you have thinning eyebrows, or it's an area that really makes you feel self-conscious, and I just think eyebrows frame your face, and it's something that you want done, then look into it. Because I am not one for a lot of enhancement. Like, I don't want to say plastic surgeries and stuff, but I don't do Botox. My wrinkles are my wrinkles. I do skincare. I do lots of skincare, and I concentrate on that, and I spend the money on it because I feel like my skin is super sensitive, and it's even hard to manage at my age in the 60s to, you know, keep it healthy looking. But as far as that other, I don't really, I don't get into that. I'm blessed because I have oily skin. Sometimes I want to say it's just a grease pit, but thank heavens, because I think it keeps me lubed up and I get less wrinkles. But so it is what it is. But for whatever issue that might be bothering you that you feel is worth the investment, then do your homework. Really research where you're going, whatever it is. I mean, people get lip injections and, you know, just fill-ins and stuff like that. Just make sure that you've done your homework. I mean, that's the best thing I can say. So I wanted to talk to you about that, because I didn't film it or do any of that. And I mean, literally, guys, I laid down in that chair. I don't think I was there 30 minutes. Not that, and that included me sitting there talking to her about coloring and stuff like that. So the process, this fill-in, was simple and easy. Now I know other people have gone in and had other types of fill-in done where they do I don't know. I looked into it a little bit, but not a lot, and it just seemed way more than what I wanted, and their brows are very, very bold, and I'm not looking for that. I just want mine to be as natural as can be, and want to be able to sit down and go boom, boom, done. So I thought I would share that with you. And also I wanted to share with you, I saw someone talk about this, so I thought I'm going to try this. So I have the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury, and I do like the stuff. It comes on a little stick. It's a highlighter. It says for superstar youth glow, and it's pretty glowy. So you have to use a really light hand, but I saw someone demonstrate it, I think on Instagram, where they mixed it with their foundation. I think they mixed it with their foundation, or they put it on first and then put their foundation over it to kind of tone it down. But I did kind of a mix. What I did was I used the applicator tip, and I just put it around my face, and then I followed it up with my Clinique. You can see it's my favorite here. It's so worn out. I always have a spare. So I love this in the summer. It's so light. And then I took my Sonia Kashuk sponge, wet it, and then I just dabbed it all over. And I think I got a really nice, even application. And it's not over glowy, and it just makes my skin, I think, feel healthy looking. And if I wanted to embellish it for night, I could go back over the highlight on my cheekbones and stuff like that. But it was just really a pretty application. I guess the difference would be when this dries, it's like matte on my skin, but when I mixed it, it had that little bit of glow to it, so it wasn't quite as matte. But I did follow it up with my powder application, and that was my Bye Bye Pores powder. And the stuff I've just been loving. It's just been really good because, you know, I have pore issues. So I put that on today. That's what I have on. And then on my eyes, I just went really, really light because I'm just trying not to do any makeup powdering up by my brows for the next, you know, so many days or whatever. I used this Charlotte Tilbury, it's called Cheek to Chic, and I used it on my eyes. I just blended the two colors together. You can see it's just really light and it's pretty. So that's what I did there. And I have my Dior Whew, it's the Rosy Glow. Use this all the time on my cheeks to get that little glow. And then I think I have Charlotte Tilbury lip liner with some Kapori lip over it, and this is the lip liner. It's called Bond Girl. Really pretty. So that's what I got on today, and guess what? I'm staying home. But I've got some folks coming by later, and so I'm dressed. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is yesterday was my haircut day, and boy, was that even a little fiasco. I have my hair appointment, and this time I went 8 weeks because I usually try to get everything trimmed up every 6 weeks, but I went 8 weeks, and I wasn't sure if I was going to have her cut it up to chin, little bit shorter than chin level because it's hot, it's summer, but now I can put it up and get the hotness off of me, and so I wasn't sure. So my hairdresser's so good, she'll do whatever I want, but she's good with just saying, well, if you're not sure, why don't you wait another haircut or so. And I just I'm not sure, so I just said, let's just do a trim. I think I need to get the dead ends off and just do a trim, and I've been growing it out, so let's just see where it leads in another 8 weeks. But I go to the hairdressers, and I get there, and I'm usually always 10 or 15 minutes early. So I noticed, they weren't quite open because I was the first appointment. And so I just sat in the car. So I sat out in front of some stores there and waited, and then I sat in the car, and then I'm like, well, it's 9 o'clock. My appointment's for 9 o'clock. Nobody's in there. That's weird. So I called, and it was the recording, and I thought, okay. They called and verified my appointment. I sent a text message back confirming. So I thought, this is weird. And all of a sudden, I looked at the message that they had sent confirming, and I'm like, okay, that's not the same phone number that's on this message. So I called it, and they answered this, such and such salon, and I'm like, what? Ooh, something's going on here. I said, I have an appointment today with my girl, Rachel, and yep, she's here. And I said, where? I'm out in front of the salon, and there's lights off. Oh, they shut down. We moved. And so they had moved, I guess a week after I was there last time, they had made this decision that they were closing that Aveda shop down. And so she moved, and she just thought, everybody had been contacted, and I wasn't. But thank heavens it was only about 6 or 7 minutes away from where it was at, and I just put it in my GPS and got there, and I was like a wreck going, oh my gosh, well, nobody told me, and what's the address? And I was really rude to this girl on the phone, and she was just a receptionist, and she goes, well, I'm not really good with direct. I said, okay, just give me the address, I'll GPS it. Tell her I'm going to be late now, and I don't want to put her behind. And I was just like freaking out, and I was rude to her, and I felt horrible. So I get there, and I just said, she goes, I'm sorry, I thought you knew. She goes, I pretty much contacted everybody, and this just happened right after you were here last time, and they didn't make the move until Memorial Weekend, but she just thought everybody had been contacted. And of course, if I would have paid attention to my text message, I would have seen it was under a different name. And so, my fault too, and everything was fine. I didn't put her behind. She was waiting for me, and I said, can I please talk to the receptionist that answers your phone, because I was such a rude bee, and I need to apologize to her. And she was the sweetest girl. She said, it's okay. And I said, no, it really isn't. I'm freaking out over something that isn't, just nobody's fault. Nobody's gonna blame me. But you know how it is when you have a hair appointment and you think you gotta miss it? My girl's so busy, it's like takes forever to get in, so I always make my appointments in advance. But I apologized to her, and she was gracious. And I just drove home and did nothing but think about that. Calm down. Life isn't that hectic. You can get a phone call, a snap of a finger. Anything can change at any time, and it's serious business, and you don't need to be anxious and be in control. Just, I'm sorry, I'm at the wrong, I'm at the old place, I didn't know, please tell, I just couldn't. I was just like, bah. And I think it's just because sometimes, my days get shot, and I just caregiving is hard, and I get a little keyed up. And when it's a day for me to have the plans that I know I've made arrangements, I can go out, I'm just like so looking forward to it, and then something like that goes on. But anyways, excuse after excuse. I apologized, and she was gracious, and a good lesson to me. I need to be gracious too. So I gotta go get busy because I'm behind in everything, guys. So got paperwork to do, got laundry to do, got a house to clean, and just gonna enjoy the day. So until next time, be kind, be humble, age gracefully, and if you really want a great start to your day and a beautiful day and a perfect finish, start your day with God. Start your day with God, and even if you don't know where to start, just start your day with being still with Him. So until next time, be kind, be humble, age gracefully, and like I said, start your day with God. Bye!